What is going on, guys? This is All Gaming with my review of Sword Art Online Season 2 Episode 8. And the episode, it was pretty simple actually, until like halfway through the show. It was definitely kind of going, a bit slow paced because nothing was like really going on. And we just had, pretty much Kirito and Sinon. They were talking, for most of it. And so we see now that like they are both signing up for the third round or the second round of the Bullets of Bullets. And we see that like Kirito, he was like trying to talk to Sinon, and at first, she was like ignoring him, and so he started calling her about all these different, nicknames. But eventually, she does cave in, and she does talk to him. And while they were talking, now we have Kirito trying to get her help to learn more about, like what's going to happen, because obviously this right here is his first time going through this, so he is a noob. But now we see they were walking together, and they went to kind of like that bar-looking area, and we see now that like all these guys that were here, we have some of them making bets, we have some of them, selling information. But when like Kirito and Sinon came in there, all eyes were like were on them. And so then you have Kirito, he like bumps into one of these guys, and we see that like they actually kind of got scared, and we saw them, like back off as Kirito will actually, will actually be me and try something. But when he walked by, we see now that he pretty much called out everyone. And we see that because they think that he's a girl, we see him, like kind of put on an act here where he told them all to like cheer for him. And even though that right there was like kind of creepy, because we all know Kirito is a guy, I did get, a laugh out of that, because to me that right there was like kind of amusing. But finally we had them sitting down, and we actually learn more about Bullets of Bullets, where it'll be like this like wide map. I believe Sinon said there's like 10 I forgot what it said, but like pretty much, like the maps here, they are pretty freaking large. And like, and all these players, it'll be 30 of them on the map, and then they will spawn randomly. And the good thing about that is that because the map is so big itself, we have these characters spawning at least 1,000 meters, I believe, away from each other. So it's not like as soon as you get in there, somebody could be right behind you, shoot you in the back. That right there is a good thing. And so we see now that like after they went there talking, we have Sinon, starting to leave, and we had Kirito, quickly stopping her, because there was one thing that like he did want to talk about. And so obviously this right here is kind of like a sore point for Kirito, because we saw throughout the episode, this whole Death Gun thing, it is kind of like getting him and messing with his head. And Sinon, like, even though she not really, dive in on that, she did, she did figure out a few things, especially after Kirito, like, spilled the beans a little bit. But at least he not told her everything. So Sinon now knows that, like, Kirito was a member or, a player in Sword Art Online. And obviously now, like, she knows that, like, Kirito has this past here with Death Gun, because at one point they did try to kill each other. And obviously, Death Gun is an enemy, because it's like Kirito said itself, it's impossible for them to be friends at this point after everything, they've been through. But right now Kirito is like the only one, like, sort of, who could bring him down. And so now we see that like once Sinon learned everything, she did begin to understand Kirito, a little bit better. But now they like had to get their head in the game, and we saw that they like got into this elevator to go by to this standby dome, so that way they could get their mind focused. And not only that, so they could also, get their gear checked out and repaired it if it was like something was like wrong with it. But now we see that like while they were in there, we have we have Sinon pretty much making Kirito promise, not to die or be defeated in there till they, got the rematch. And so that right there was like kind of like her way of telling Kirito, to be safe and stay alive out there, because obviously, like I'm pretty sure that she would definitely be mad if Kirito, did lose early on. But obviously, she wants that rematch, and the best way that could happen if Kirito, stays alive in a battle. And so now when they get there, we see now that like Sinon, she was in the room all by herself, but we had Kirito in like other room with guys. And I do wonder, why didn't they stick together? But like it really doesn't matter, because soon enough, the round starts, And I also got to mention that like when they were talking, you know, in that bar place, we had Kirito asking Sinon if there were like any players that like she didn't recognize, and there were like three that like stood out to her. One was like Dyne, I'm probably saying his name wrong. The other one was like Pale Rider, and the last one, you know, started with like Sin something, like I forgot his name. But these three, you know, like these three were the newcomers besides Kirito, of course. So that meant one of them could be Def Gun, but we don't know who. But eventually, you know, when the round starts, like it's pretty much all these like fodder characters, you know, like characters you don't really care about, like pretty much them. But we did see Dyne here. He actually got quite a bit of screen time, and I'm not saying, you know, that's a bad thing, because we saw that like he definitely had some skill with a gun. He was like somewhat impressive because he was like holding his own. But eventually, you know, like we cut to Sinon. And like she had this like one guy who was like walking like past these rocks, and eventually, you know, she spots these grenades on his waist, and he shoots one of them, and that right there was impressive because like the way she took that guy out, it was messed up, but that right there was awesome. But eventually, you know, she like brings out the map, and obviously, you know, it's like time for her to move, but she did see that like that Dyne and Pale Rider, like these two were kind of like have like a 1v1, because like Pale Rider was like chasing him, and so eventually we have Dyne here. He come across this bridge, and we see that like when he gets to the other side, he's just waiting, you know, for the Pale Rider. And then we have Sinon who's like behind Dyne, and she was gonna shoot him, but we have Kirito coming out of nowhere, and he stops her because he really wants to see what's going on, because obviously, you know, one of these two could be Def Gun, so he wanted Sinon to wait. And you know, it's just like watch this battle. And so eventually, you know, she does give in, and obviously, you know, this right here is slowly building trust between them, which is good. But now we have them, you know, like watching this fight going down, and the Pale Rider, this guy, holy crap, was he awesome! Like the way he can move, and with that gun skill as well, this guy was like so freaking awesome. Like, to me, that right there was the highlight. Obviously, you know, this gunfight between them, this showdown, that right there was beautiful. Like, Pale Rider, even though he might get taken out, you know, for this being his first and possibly only episode, he was just downright impressive. But eventually, you know, he does get a good shot on Dyne, and that, well, you know, a couple of good shots, and we see now that the final shot was like this headshot, and that right there was like pretty brutal, because that did kill him. But now we see that before Pale Rider could enjoy his victory, he got shot out of nowhere. But you know, this right here, you know, this shot, it was different because we saw like something glowing out of him, and when they zoom in on that, it was actually, you know, a stun bullet. So obviously, you know, like they have no idea where it came from because they didn't see it, they didn't even hear it. So right now they were confused, and at first they thought, you know, that it might have came from the forest, but that right there wasn't true. And so we have Sinon, you know, asking Kirito how in the world did he get here, but we actually learned that like he took off all his gear, put it in storage, and he went swimming in the river. And that right there is a brilliant idea, but at the same time it could be dangerous because you never know. With like all these players in here, somebody could have been down there, you know, like walking along the river as well. Because I do believe I saw like some land next to it, so that right there could have been, you know, pretty troublesome for him. But luckily he got out of that with like no problem. But then eventually, you know, they finally spot Def Gun, and when he's walking, we like see his weapon for the first time, and Sinon actually knows what it is. It's called the Silent Assassin, and this right here is a very powerful and a very rare, you know, sniper. And so some people actually did not think that it existed, but obviously, you know, we have Def Gun here, and he actually has it. And so now we see that like he walks to the Pale Rider, and he pulls out a handgun, and we all know, you know, he used that handgun in the very first episode. And so now he's like saying a prayer, and we have Kirito kind of like freaking out, and I don't know why, you know, he like panicking so much, but we see now that like, you know, even though Pale Rider could die, Kirito, could have been like more calm about it, but he told Sinon, to shoot Death Gun, obviously, and that right there is where the episode ends. So right now, I am curious, will Parabotta die? Because right now, he's a minor character, and I really don't see him, having that much importance in the series, unless maybe, in the future, he could be of some help to Kirito. I'm not really sure. But yeah, like I said, the episode, it was simple pretty much, but, for the middle to the end, with all that action, that right there was like pretty freaking good. So right now, I'll probably give this probably an 8 out of 10, but of course, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on this. And as always, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe, because that really helps me out. And you guys take it easy, and I will see you all next time.